The Border City Kids podcast presents The Midnight Files. Tonight, we're diving deep into the chilling story of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Hey everyone, it's Brian at the Border City Kids podcast here. We just wanted to send out a huge thank you for joining us on our YouTube channel. We're now up on Spotify, TikTok, and of course we're still going on YouTube. We're working on getting things rolling on Apple Podcast as well. We're dropping new material almost every day, some serious, some goofy, but all of it is made with our audience in mind. Don't forget to check out our two podcasts, The Border City Kids and The Midnight Files. We've also upgraded our studio recently, so we're trying to level up things and bring you guys the best content that we can. So, Freedom 38, let's go. Welcome back to The Midnight Files. This is the show where the unknown becomes unforgettable. Tonight, we're diving deep into the chilling story of Ed and Lorraine Warren, the world's most famous paranormal investigators. From battling malevolent spirits to confronting pure evil face to face, the Warrens built a legacy that still haunts us today. Turn down the lights and get ready, because some stories are more than just legends. They're real. This is the story of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Born in 1926 in Bridgeport, Connecticut, Ed Warren grew up in a haunted house, a cold, brooding home filled with unseen footsteps and whispering voices. By the age of 5, Ed claimed to have seen an apparition, which is a misty figure that would vanish through the walls. Unlike most children, Ed didn't shy away from these encounters. He leaned in. Lorraine Warren, born a year later in 1927, lived an equally unusual childhood. By the time she was 7, Lorraine realized she could see lights around people, what we now call auras. She thought everyone could see them, until she realized her gift set her apart from everyone else. Fate, or perhaps something greater, brought them together. In their teenage years, Ed and Lorraine Warren married at just 18 and 17 years old, bound not just by love, but by a shared destiny to explore the mysteries most fear to even whisper about. Part 2 of this series is becoming the world's most famous paranormal investigators. Ed, a self-taught demonologist, and Lorraine, a psychic medium, blended skepticism with belief. In 1952, they founded the New England Society for Psychic Research, an organization that would eventually help thousands of families plagued by supernatural forces. Their methods were simple but powerful. Ed would investigate the history, search for signs of demonic involvement, while Lorraine used her clairvoyant abilities to sense the energy of the place. Together, they weren't just ghost hunters, they were spiritual warriors. But with each case, they grew stronger, and so did the danger. We're going to go over some of the cases that made Ed and Lorraine Warren famous. Case number 1 is the Perron family haunting in 1971. In the early 1970s, Roger and Carolyn Perron and their 5 daughters moved into an old farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island. Almost immediately, they experienced terror, doors slamming, beds shaking, spirits pulling at their legs in the dead of night. The Warrens were called in. Lorraine sensed the presence of Bathsheba Sherman, a woman rumored to have practiced witchcraft and committed infanticide. Bathsheba's curse echoed through the centuries, poisoning the very foundation of the land. It would take months of investigation and a terrifying seance that nearly cost Carolyn her life. To weaken the spirit's grip, this haunting would later inspire the Conjuring's first movie of the franchise, which introduced the Warrens' work to a new generation. Case number 2, and I would say this is probably the most famous case of Ed and Lorraine Warren, is the story of the Amityville Horror. Perhaps their most infamous case began after the brutal murders at 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York. When George and Kathy Lutz fled the house after just 28 days, claiming demonic forces had tormented them, the Warrens were summoned. Lorraine later described feeling an overwhelming sense of evil in the house, stating that she was pushed to the brink just by standing inside. Their findings exploded into the public consciousness, sparking books, films, and an endless debate about whether Amityville was truly haunted or something even worse. Case number 3, this one should look very familiar to the Conjuring series. This one's Annabelle the doll. To the untrained eye, Annabelle looked like an ordinary Raggedy Ann doll, but the spirit attached to her was anything but innocent. After terrorizing a group of young nurses, the doll was taken by the Warrens and locked away in their occult museum, sealed behind the glass with a sign warning, "Positively do not open." Even today, visitors to the museum claim to feel chills in their presence. Case number 4, the trial of Arne Cheyenne Johnson, The Devil Made Me Do It. This would be the Conjuring 3rd installment. In a groundbreaking case, Ed and Lorraine Warren became involved in the trial of Arne Cheyenne Johnson, a man accused of stabbing his landlord to death. But this was no ordinary murder trial. Johnson's defense was that he had been possessed by a demon at the time of the killing. The Warrens had earlier warned that something evil had latched onto Johnson's family after a young boy, David Glatzel, underwent a terrifying exorcism, one Lorraine would later call the most horrifying of her career. The case marked the first time in U.S. history that demonic possession was used as a legal defense in a court of law. Part 4. This is the final years and legacy of Ed and Lorraine Warren. Despite facing constant skepticism and public ridicule, Ed and Lorraine pressed on, believing their work was a calling, not a choice. In 2006, after a series of health struggles, Ed Warren passed away at the age of 79. Lorraine, heartbroken but steadfast, continued their work for many more years to come, giving lectures, consulting on films, and sharing their faith with anyone willing to listen. On April 18, 2019, unfortunately, Lorraine Warren passed away peacefully, surrounded by her family. She was 92 years old. In life, they fought to protect the living from the unseen. In death, they became legends, the guardians of the thin veil that separates our world from what lies beyond. Thank you for joining us for the Midnight Files in this short episode of Ed and Lorraine Warren tonight. I hope you guys learned a few things. If you have any questions about any of the topics that we covered or any parts of the series of The Conjuring, be sure to ask them in the comments below. Please hit the like and subscribe button. You'd be doing us a big favor by doing that. We're really hoping to improve our channel, not just through YouTube, but through Spotify, through TikTok, any platform that we can. Look out on Apple Podcasts. We're hoping to get there soon. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. Have a good one.